Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We got another caller on the line. Thank you for calling Uncut No Chaser. This is Shantae. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
This is Dottie.
Hey, Dottie, how you doing tonight?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. Thanks for calling in. What's your comments on why we have so much disrespect out here in this world today?
I would say it's it's the way that people carry themselves and how you treat people.
Okay. And why do you think people are disrespectful?
Because they don't have self-respect for themselves.
Wow. Okay, I guess we're all in agreement on that. Because that was the main thing, no self-respect. So what have you ever been in an issue where you've been disrespectful or a point in time in your life where you were that way?
Yes, I was when I was younger.
Okay, and then what work did you do to find out and to correct your behaviors?
I think that it started happening whenever I had my first child.
Okay.
I didn't want her to act the way that I was acting, just be the way that I was being.
Wow. So your daughter was the reason why your behaviors changed.
Yes.
Amazing. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a good reason to change. Definitely a
Yeah.
good reason to change. So has she ever had any issues where she was disrespectful?
No, I don't really have too many issues out of her, no.
That's wonderful. Wow, that's
Yeah.
truly amazing. So what do you think we can do as people to I know it's all about self and what somebody wants, but what do you think we can do to put out here to get people to understand that disrespect is very negative?
I think that it starts with being a positive role model and just your actions and what you do. Children grow up wanting to be like you and wanting to follow you. So if you're a good role model, then they'll learn respect.
Okay, but what happens to those kids that or people that have had the good role models in their lives, but they still chose to be disrespectful or go the opposite way of what they've been taught or how they've been raised?
Um, I don't know. I guess it would you would have to just come to a turning point in your life where you would see what you're doing, is wrong, and try to change it. It might be a situation that you caused yourself to be in from being disrespectful, or a path, just going down the wrong path.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. I see that point of view. I definitely do. But I believe more so it's up to the individual because I hear so many people always say, oh, I can't change. I can't change. There's no way to change. How do you change? And, I tell people all the time, it's about what you want for you. It's not about pleasing someone else. You have to
Yeah,
please yourself first, which means you have to be happy with self before anything else. Change starts
that's
with
true.
self, but some people don't get it. They don't understand it. And just like Gogo said, people are just comfortable where they are. And like she said, you don't have to be a product of your environment.
Hmm.
And you can grow. Do you think that sometimes just situations is why people are the way that they are? Because they are afraid of change?
Oh yeah, yeah, I think that.
But if it's a positive change, why would one be afraid?
Because you get in your routine and that's what you're used to. Some people are scared to step out of their comfort zone and change.
I agree. I agree. And then I know, like, as we were talking about these millennium kids, some of them are very, very disrespectful. And I find that with because I deal with some youth on a regular basis, and I had this conversation today with two of my young men, and they said, sometimes it's peer pressure from your friends. And I said, well, your friends don't make you be disrespectful, or are you just being a follower and following them being disrespectful instead of being a leader and not be disrespectful and have them follow you? Or are you afraid of your friends leaving or not being your friends anymore because they don't think being respectful is cool? And one of the young men actually said, yes, that's why I really hang with them, because that's all I have. I find that to be pretty sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, I thank you for calling in. You have any final words? Anything else you would like to add to being disrespected?
All I can say is, just learn to love yourself and be happy with who you are, and you'll respect everybody. That's the way that I look at it. If you're happy with yourself and you respect yourself, then you'll know how to respect others.
And I totally agree. And thank you so very much. I truly, truly appreciate you calling in. Thank you for being a support of Uncut No Chaser and Simply United Radio. Call in anytime. You can, reach me through Messenger or Facebook. If you have anything, maybe a topic you may want to discuss, or just talk. You may be having a bad day. You just got some stuff to get off your chest. Call me every Tuesday, 8:30. And thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Well, we've had women call in, 2 women. Can I get any men to call in so I can hear your side of it? I just don't want to hear one side. The lines are open. They're clear and free. The number is 678-365-9458. I don't have nothing to hide. I can truly admit the mistakes and the changes and challenges that I went through. And, as you heard from the first caller, Maureen, she's been in my life for, she's 17 to 15 years. So she's seen the good, the bad, and ugly. And, as she stated, she had to jack me up a couple of times. I have a caller. One moment. Good evening. Thank you for calling Uncut No Chaser. This is Shantae. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Just go.
Hey. You got some more to say about this disrespect? She done call back, y'all. She got a lot to say. Go done call back.
Y'all know I will voice my opinion on anything.
Hey, I was just talking to another caller, Dottie, and and I was telling her about 2 young men that I had a conversation with earlier today. And one of the guys basically just said he's with the crew he hangs with because they are because they're not they are disrespectful. But if he decided to be respectful, they wouldn't be his friends anymore. What would you think about that? This peer pressure stuff.
But see, that's why a lot of them do it, because they're trying to fit in. They're trying to get so-called friends by doing the same, mimicking the stuff other people doing. They're not being a leader, they're being a follower.
And why do you think our youth is so interested in following instead of leading?
Because they don't have the skills to lead.
Wow.
They haven't been taught. They haven't been taught how to stand up on their own 2 feet. Daddy probably wasn't around, so he couldn't tell you how, hey, this is not good, you don't do this. Mama probably just doing her own thing and not putting in the effort to teach these children what they need. It's a lot of children without daddies that turned out good.
I agree. You're absolutely correct.
So many of them quick to say that they have a bad background. That's why they do the stuff they do, or that's why they in prison, because their daddy wasn't around. Bullshit.
I agree. I do
My
agree.
dad wasn't around, and all 4 of us turned out good. My son daddy wasn't around. He turned out well. He a better daddy to his son than his daddy was to him.
Yeah, well, my sperm donor wasn't around either, and I turned out pretty well. I mean, I hit some bumps in the road, but they were learning lessons. And it is, again, I believe it's all about what the individual wants. I don't care if you're lacking parenting or you're lacking anything. For a perfect example, you take a child that's been in the foster care system, and I'm sure, I mean, we've seen plenty of stories running across social media where these kids over excelled to achieve the goal that they wanted to. They did not allow their circumstances to stop them. And, I applaud them. And I tell kids all the time, and I bring those stories up, and I show them, if this child can do it with no parents, why can't you do the same? Is it because you choose not to? Is it because you're afraid? Or you're afraid that you're not going to have any friends? And some of them said because they won't have any friends. And I think that that's really, really sad.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's really, really sad. And I asked them, where's your self-respect at for you? It doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. If it's negative, why do you want to be around it anyway?
Yeah, but they accept it.
And they do.
Yeah, they accept it.
Wow, this is crazy.
Somebody have to be rooted in order to teach them how to grow.
I agree. But again, it goes back to this, and this ties into parenting. When I was figuring out things and digging back into my roots as to why certain things were a certain way, why I did things the way that I did them, why I had the attitude I had, why I was angry, I dug back, and when I looked into it, I realized, and it took somebody to really sit me down and explain this to me, because I didn't process it, I couldn't understand it, and I basically said, it's nonsense, it's just an excuse. But it actually made sense, and this is what they told me. They said, your mother raised you and your siblings the way she knew, and how she knew was by the way she was raised. Not saying that the way she was raised was politically correct, because we know kids don't come with a manual. It's hit or miss, trial and error, and, a lot of adjusting. So she told me, she said, well, your mother screamed and yelled all the time because her mother probably screamed and yelled all the time. So what happened? I used to yell and scream all the time.
History repeats itself.
It's right. History repeats itself. But at what point, how can we break these cycles? Because it's like these generational cycles.
Willing to change. These kids got to be willing to change. They can't just talk about it. They got to be about it.
But it starts with us as adults. Like, how do we get them to listen? How do we grab their attention to get them to even start the thought process of changing?
It starts at home for one, but I just think that if they don't see it, why would they want to learn it?
Well, some people out here want it. It's just they don't know how to seek for it, or they're too ashamed to ask for it.